All right, hey, my name's Jim. I'm the pastor of counseling here at Restored.
I'm Helene.
I'm Becca.
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Wilkes-Barre, South Wilkes-Barre, actually, Sanborn Street, and went to Franklin Elementary, then went to Pittston area. Came to know Christ at the age of 15 through an economics class. A friend invited me to his church. We were going to do a project, and met a Sunday school teacher who loved Jesus with all his heart and had a real burden for teens. And so he led me to Christ on Mother's Day 1978, and God called me to preach probably within a year. I started doing some public speaking and preaching, and that started my journey of going down for becoming a pastor. All right, I graduated in 1986 from Baptist Bible College, and then traveled out, got married that year, and took my wife on a honeymoon out to Grand Rapids, and we went to school there. I started pastoring a church for, it was approximately 10 years. We lived there 16 years. Then God called us to Perry, Ohio, and I pastored a church there for 12 years. And we came here in 2012. Well, Dan Nichols came out to our church to invite our teenagers to become part of Baptist Bible College. He was a recruiter for the school. And at the end of his time, I just simply asked him if he'd like to share for a few words, and he stood up, said, yeah, this is my last week here. I'm going to be doing a church plant in a town called Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. One thing that Dan didn't know is that I was born and raised here. And I remember sitting there saying, Lord, boy, I'd love to go back. And I even sent a little email off to him and said, if God could move mountains, I'd join the team. I never envisioned that God would move me to the area. It was a thought, but didn't see how that would quite come together for us. And then probably, what was it, January of 2011, we talked a little bit, and we decided as a family that we would like to join the team and come back home, be a part of the stuff that was going on here. How we were going to do it, where God was going to lead us for job, or tell you what, I was sitting there thinking, I don't know if this is going to happen, all the while planning with the team that we're going to make the transition. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like, Lord, I don't know how we're going to do this. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out.
Well, Restored is a different church, not like any church we've ever been part of before. It's like a totally different church. It has so many opportunities for us to serve, but also ministers to us.
I was 10 when we moved, so that was really hard, leaving all of my friends, and we left half of our family there, so it was a really difficult transition. But before we moved, I wrote a letter to one of my friends, and I have it here. So it said, I know we just moved to Perry, and that was hard enough, but there's a church in Wilkes-Barre, and we are going to help. And once they had a house church, and there were so many people that they ran out of seats and they ran out of food, so they had to get a pizza. And I don't want to move, but I'm going to go where God wants me to. And there might be kids there that don't know Jesus, and I can help them just like I helped you. Love, your sister, Becca.
When we arrived working full-time at Sweet Frog, it was 55 hours a week, and then we got an opportunity to get another job. And in order to make things work, I've had to work four jobs. I've worked for hospice, I've worked for the hospital. I've done my counseling ministry here for the church, and it's been a lot of work, and sometimes very exhausting. Family time at times, no days off. It's just been very hard. We've financially had some struggles too in the process, but each time we recognize God's call here, and just was reinforced by everything that God is doing here at Restored. And when we had a need, God met the need. We've never gone without having needs met, and so. But the biggest need that was the counseling ministry here at Restored, and we now have 2 offices, 2 counselors, an area where we can do ministry and counseling. It's growing, and one of the most exciting things that happened this year was the fact that the church had grown to the point where they can eliminate a job that was taking 25 hours of my time, and now I'll be full-time. And I'm really excited about meeting the needs of the congregation as pastoral care, and also just seeing how the ministry of counseling in Wilkes-Barre and Wyoming Valley can grow to be able to help those who have needs. And so I'm just excited to join the team on a full-time basis.